Our Florida roads are crowded, and according to the Department of Highway Safety, we average more than 1,000 car crashes a day, and 40% of motor vehicle accidents involve multiple vehicles. In today's Injuries Are Personal with Carl Reynolds Law, attorney Carl Reynolds is here to explain what happens with our insurance when multiple people are involved. Okay.
Yes.
I had to look up that statistic twice. 1,000 a day. That's terrifying.
Terrifying.
Yes. All right. So parents, don't think about that with your teenage drivers.
There's a price to pay living in paradise, unfortunately.
I guess that's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's our car insurance. But you bring up an interesting point there with these multi-vehicle accidents. We see it all too often. You rear end one, rear ends another. Maybe someone comes in from the side. How does the insurance sort itself out? Is the first thing to figure out who's at fault?
Sure. So you got to find out who's at fault. Oftentimes in multi-vehicle accidents, they tend to be chain reaction accidents, and it's the one at the rear who causes the first impact, which then shoves the one in front, and so on. So it's usually the rear offender that's the culprit and the one at fault. Now the issue is, all right, my car smashed, I have injuries, the car in front of me smashed, they have injuries, that car, they might have had passengers in their car, they have injuries.
Oh, geez.
Who gets what? Who pays for what? How do we handle all that out? And it can be a mess.
Okay, so if there's one car at fault, one insurance policy, and 8 different other situations, do we times 8 or do we divide by 8?
So, good point. So the issue is you've got to find out who the culprit is, find out who their insurance carrier is. The driver of that vehicle is personally liable, and then the owner of the vehicle is liable. So you need to determine, is the owner different than the operator? And if they are, then find out what insurance the operator has. Usually people don't carry around their personal automobile insurance in their wallets. It follows the car. And so if it's someone different than the owner of the car, you need to find out, okay, do you have a separate insurance policy and how much? Once you figure out what's there, then it's a division, okay? And it's going to be divided up amongst the numerous claimants. Used to be in times past that it was basically first in line, first gets paid, okay? So you would want to get your claim in right away. The law has changed now to protect all claimants, and so the insurance company has a responsibility to take into account all potential claims. And in some instances, what they'll do is the insurance company will actually file a lawsuit and sue all the claimants. It sounds weird. They'll sue them to bring them to court to force the distribution of the limited amount of insurance if all the claimants can't agree on how to divvy up a limited amount of resources.
So as a claimant, do I run the risk of maybe not getting as much money from a crash like this because there were lots of other people involved?
Oh, for sure.
Doesn't seem very fair. If I'm just sitting here,
I know,
and 6 other people were just sitting there.
Yes. So what happens is it's divided up on kind of a pro rata basis. So let's say, for example, we have an accident and there's $100,000 of insurance, and we have 5 claimants, and one of the claimants has $100,000 worth of damages, and the other 4 have $25,000 worth of damages. So we have a $200,000 damage claim, but we have $100,000 to pay for it.
Right.
Well, what happens is the person with a $100,000 claim, they represent 50% of overall damages. They're going to get 50% of what's available, so they're going to get 50 grand. They're still short 50,
sure,
but at least they're going to get their 50%. And
which
the others
is more than if you were to divide it up in fifths, in which case they'd have only gotten 20. So it's definitely rated toward the severity of damages.
Correct. Now, one way, again, to protect yourself, and we've talked about this numerous times on this program, is you buy uninsured motorist coverage, and that helps fill in those gaps. So as long as you have uninsured motorist coverage on your policy, it'll help fill in that shortage and things like that. But ultimately, and where it gets really messy is with the vehicles and paying for the damage to the vehicles. If you have uninsured motorists, great. But what about my car? My car costs $10,000 to repair. What if the at-fault party only had a $10,000 policy and we have 4 vehicles and they all have $10,000 worth of damage?
Does that get divided too?
Yes, it does. Yes.
Wow. All right.
You got to carry collision coverage on your car if you want protection there.
I try not to let you stress me out, but this one was a lot because you see so many multi-car crashes, and now I think we're all starting to realize that really cuts down on the assistance you're getting from somebody's insurance.
Correct. So the way to protect yourself is to insure yourself, buy uninsured motorist coverage, buy collision coverage on your own policy, so that if you're a victim of a multi-car accident, if there's limited insurance resources, because more often than not there are,
right,
you would have that protection through your own policy.
And don't try to sort it out by yourself, because it is obviously not straightforward. So lots of great information from Carl. For any information about any of your legal questions, you can find Carl and his team by going to injuriesarepersonal.com. We'll be right back.